Have you heard about the Houston Safari Club Foundation? They're a nonprofit organization that provides annual scholarships to college students, hunting and fishing trips, and outdoor education programs for hundreds of students each year. And they fund conservation projects at home and abroad to protect habitat and wildlife. A community of hunters and people passionate about the outdoors. Monthly events, an annual convention, member benefits, and so much more. Whether you hunt quail in South Texas or big game around the world, this is the place for you. Become a member today. Go to WeHuntWeGive.org to learn more. WeHuntWeGive.org.
Tradition, conservation, family, the outdoors. It matters to you. It matters to us. This is Hunting Matters. Presented by Houston Safari Club Foundation. Here's Joe Betar.
Good morning. Welcome to Hunting Matters on KPRC. I'm your host, Joe Betar.
I am Ramon Robles.
Man, it seemed like I just saw you yesterday.
Hey, you know, we gotta quit
ago.
hanging out. I don't even know what you mean. I'm on a road trip today.
Yeah.
I actually, as soon as we get done here, I am off.
Yep.
We are heading up north
Where
to
you going?
Dallas.
Dallas.
Yeah.
Road trip with the kids.
Yeah, this is going to be our first road trip as a family, and so we don't know their butt endurance, and we don't know how they're going to act. You know, heaven forbid we don't have the iPad charged. You know what they're going to do.
Right.
So this is kind of a test run for us. So we said Dallas, maybe San Antonio, and then back home.
That'll be a good trip, though.
Yeah, we'll see.
There's a lot of stuff to see in between here and there. A lot of tourist attractions, a lot of good barbecue.
My oldest, July, he asked me, Daddy, will they have Exxon stations where we're going? Because we have an Exxon by the house, and after school, when I pick them up, we stop at the Exxon for treats. And so Exxon is now synonymous with like the Willy Wonka factory of snacks.
Really?
It's like, will there be Exxon stations, Dada? Yes, baby, there'll be. Let me tell you about this place called Buc-ee's.
I was going to say, have you plotted out all the Buc-ee's?
Yes, we're going to stop in Madisonville. It's going to blow their minds. We might end the trip there. Like, that might be, all right, that's it, guys. That was the trip.
Get your souvenirs. We're going home.
Yeah.
That'll be a good trip.
Yeah, I hope so.
Be a lot of fun. What's going on with us this week? Well, when I'm out of here, I don't think I can go home and do some honeydews, maybe relax a little bit.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot going on.
Well, it was 90 degrees on Thursday, I remember, because I thought, you've got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to the weather today because in Dallas, the forecast says it's 77 or whatever. So
Right.
And that's how you know you're getting old, when you start thinking about the weather and not exactly where you're going. Like, never mind the aquarium and the zoo.
Yeah.
What's the weather going to be like?
You know, my dad used to say before he passed, we'd pull up the weather app on the phone and go, wow. He goes, I wonder how hot it's going to be. And like, well, it's going to be 78 today, Pops. He goes, well, I looked at the newspaper, and the newspaper said it was going to be 82, which we always used to get a big laugh out of that. But, I forgot. I know what I got to do today.
Oh, okay.
We're having a crawfish boil and a fun shoot this afternoon.
My goodness.
I got to go host that.
There's that.
Yeah, Houston Safari Club
That's
Foundation.
Right. The 10th already. Oh, my God.
Putting our big crawfish boil and fun shoot, and going to do a little fishing today and listen to a little country music.
I'm glad you remembered.
Yeah.
It's only 6:10 in the morning. I'm glad you remembered.
I know. I don't even know what my name is yet. Folks, if you want to learn about the monthly events, we've always got something going on every single month. Sign up, become a member, go to our events. You can even come to our events if you're not a member and meet some of the members, and then we'll get you signed up to join. So go to WeHuntWeGive.org. That's WeHuntWeGive.org, and learn about all the cool stuff that Houston Safari Club Foundation is doing. All right, enough nonsense. I want to talk to the guy we got on the phone today. I've talked to him before. Andy Techmanski is the CEO and founder of FORLOH. FORLOH is our newest corporate partner with Houston Safari Club Foundation. We were in discussions with them. We talked about our mission, our scholarship programs, our youth education programs, and these guys are on the forefront of what I call technical apparel, hunting technology, and they saw what we were doing. They're like, hey, this sounds like a perfect fit. We believe in what you guys are doing. You guys believe in what we're doing. So, Andy, welcome to the program. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
So, FORLOH. Let's go ahead and state the obvious. FORLOH spelled FORLOH. So what's the name mean? Where did it come from?
So FORLOH stands for love of hunting. And really it has a little bit deeper meaning than that. We founded on hunting. We're migrating to hunting and fishing. And really it's about providing the gear that enhances that hunt that you're on. You're hunting for that next adventure, and we're there to put the clothes on your back, if you will.
Mm-hmm. So, Andy, we're going to do a deep dive in this in a minute. So, you're obviously the CEO and founder of FORLOH. You're the guy behind the wheel on this. But let's talk a little bit about your past. What was your journey? What was your path? How did you get to this point to being a guy who's come up with this great concept? What was your past?
It's an interesting story because I was not an apparel guy in the beginning. My path started as an apprentice lineman into becoming a journeyman power lineman, and that was the bulk of my career, really. And I was always a consumer. I was always an avid hunter, fisherman, outdoorsman, mountaineer, and always testing new gear and testing the limits, both at work, because linemen are extremely tough on their clothing, and at play and the weekends, hunting and camping and everything else. So FORLOH came about after I had a successful power contracting business, and I was brainstorming it about 5 or 6, I guess it's about 6 or 7 years ago at this point. And I was getting frustrated as a consumer, and frustrated really in that I felt like the leading brands in the hunting space, particularly, were not pushing the envelope. It seemed like all the mountaineering gear that I was buying throughout the years was always at the forefront of technology. They were trying new things. They were finding new ways of creating reinforcement and strength and products and stuff like that. But I felt like, hunting kind of fell flat. Products were not as durable as they should be. And fit and design was not, it wasn't pushing into the next level. So I guess I was part of a conglomerate of fellow hunters that were sharing, on blogs and stuff, this kind of frustration and hoping that it would go somewhere. And that's kind of where I started to formulate a business plan. And, being a serial entrepreneur that I am, it didn't take me long to kind of start doing the research and realize that there was something there to start. And that's kind of where FORLOH began.
Yeah, to clarify before I forget, you guys make technical apparel for hunting, fishing, mountaineering, just about everything, correct?
We do, okay. and that the complement into other sports like fishing and technical outdoor are something that we can get into in a little bit, but they're something that we're evolving throughout this year.
Cool, man. I can't wait to get into the meat of this and talk a little bit more about what you guys are doing and kind of the principles that you have as an organization. Folks, you can learn about FORLOH at FORLOH.com. That's FORLOH.com. We're here today with our guest, Andy Techmanski, the CEO and founder of FORLOH. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back on the other side with Hunting Matters on KPRC 950.
It's the Houston Safari Club Foundation Worldwide Hunting Expo and Convention at the George R. Brown Convention Center, February 4th through the 6th, 2022. Hunting and fishing outfitters from around the world. Book the trip of a lifetime. Gear, firearms, optics, taxidermy, artwork, and more. Tickets are only $10 at the door. Children 12 and under and active military with ID get in free. Banquets, live entertainment, raffles, auctions, and proceeds support youth outdoor education, scholarships, conservation, and hunters' rights. Sponsored by FORLOH, Capital Farm Credit, and Wildlife Partners. Go to WeHuntWeGive.org to learn more.
So I guess sleep at night. Yeah, you really got me.
Good morning. Welcome back to Hunting Matters on KPRC. I'm your host, Joe Vitar.
I am Ramon Robles. Remember that time you almost forgot that you had a big event today?
Yes, like 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, I just wanted to remind you. Don't forget to show up today.
I'm sure if I didn't show up at this, my team would be texting going, you're supposed to be here at 1:30. No, they'll know I'm missing, and you know how they'll know I'm missing?
How's that?
When that extra 5 pounds of crawfish is still sitting on the table.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yep.
There's just not enough return of investment on crawfish for me.
There is.
A lot of work.
Don't talk to me.
You a crawfish guy, Andy?
I am. Yeah, for sure.
My man. Folks, we're here today with Andy Techmanski. Andy's the CEO and founder of FORLOH. Learn all about their very cool stuff at forloh.com. That's FORLOH.com. Andy, thanks once again for being with us. Ramona and I were talking off the air a few minutes ago, and I was imparting some of the knowledge that I had on the product line, which barely scratches the surface on which you live, eat, and breathe every day. But Ramon was really fascinated and wanted to hear more about the mantra of American-made nuts to bolts. And then we talked and hear about a lot of companies like, yeah, it's made in America, but where's it assembled, or where do the products come from? So can you talk about that pledge you guys have to yourself and to your consumer audience with the American-made motto?
Sure. So first off, American-made is not easy. We had to make a huge investment in infrastructure, in our manufacturing capabilities and partnerships and whatnot. And we got there, and we're glad that we did, because the benefits of Made in America are that logistically we are a lot more compressed than the traditional international garment manufacturing, where things have to get on boats in between countries and so on and so forth, which means that we can always bring the latest technology to market a lot faster than anyone else. But what does Made in America mean? For FORLOH, it had to be a holistic, complete approach. So everything from the yarns that are spun in U.S. factories all the way through to all the parts and pieces that go into the garment itself are made in America. And, there's limitations. Luckily, the Department of Defense has a very robust garment requirement, and so a lot of the latest technologies and the best trims and zippers and stuff like that are still made in America. And we were able to kind of delve into that market and then take what the DoD was buying and building, and then build upon that. So that became our foundation, and then we improved it and integrated a lot newer technologies and stuff like that. So yeah, we are from the yarn that's woven to the zipper pull that's opening that zipper, we are made in America.
I'm looking at some of your clothing here, specifically the jackets. Will any of these help me shoot better, just by chance?
They'll help you be more invisible. So
okay.
In essence, if you're more invisible, the game is less aware of you being there. It should make you more relaxed and a better shooter.
Yeah, look at that, my man. All right, I appreciate that.
Hey, Andy, where are you guys based out of?
So the company is based out of Whitefish, Montana, which is in the northwest corner of Montana, right up next to Glacier National Park.
Wow,
beautiful country, beautiful country. And how many employees do you guys have on your team there?
Well, that's a moving target. We've been adding employees every week.
Wow.
But I'd say up in the Whitefish area, we have our warehouse. We have a little bit of production going. We have our customer service. We have our flagship store and our headquarters. So in those facilities, we're in the vicinity of about 35 people. And then we have employees throughout the country and in our manufacturing centers and so on. We've been working the numbers, actually, to try to quantify how many U.S. workers actually touch our product or are part of building our product throughout the complete supply chain. And I mean, it's staggering numbers right now, and we aren't even done with the equation. But, we're already over a couple thousand U.S. jobs that touch our product.
Wow.
That's crazy. You were talking before, it's not easy and it's not inexpensive to do an all U.S.A. American-made product. But on top of that, I mean, not being critical or anything, but the timing, I mean, you guys hit it full force, because didn't you just kind of launch in July of 2020 against the pandemic going full swing? And what was that like?
Yeah, so absolutely correct. We launched July 3rd of last year. As the pandemic was, coming on and full force, kind of a blessing in disguise. Being a U.S. manufacturer, having 100% U.S. supply chain, we never really stopped building product. And in fact, we pivoted towards medical isolation gowns. We became, in a joint venture at one time, we were the largest U.S. domestic manufacturer of medical isolation gowns at the peak of COVID, and we made over 5 million gowns. And the first fabric we used is the nylon ripstop that is in our down jacket. So
that's crazy.
We put the will of those couple thousand U.S. workers inside factories, inside fabric and weaving mills. We were able to keep all those folks working safely, and all the way through our cut and sew operation that was making our camo gear. I have videos on my social media of them. One production line making medical isolation gowns, and I span to the left, and they're making camo gear on the next one. So,
you ever get them confused and make camo gowns?
We've been asked by a lot of people for camo gowns.
So, how did that was it just you guys saw the opportunity there? Did somebody approach you? How did you guys get in the medical side?
Well, my wife is a nurse practitioner,
okay.
And within her circles of folks and just friends of the family and kind of in our network of manufacturing, there just started to be a call, and this was back when if you remember in the news, people are wearing, first responders are wearing garbage bags that they have duct tape as gowns. And they're like, we just can't, the international manufacturing machine took care of their own, back at, domestically in their countries. And there was nobody here. This was a market that was normally probably 90% plus internationally sourced, and we got caught with our pants down here in the U.S. So luckily, we had some good manufacturing partners, exceptional manufacturing partners, and we were able to ramp up around this thing really fast. And it took us about 3 weeks, and we were making in the vicinity of 300 to 500,000 gowns a week.
Wow. That's big numbers. That is big numbers. Folks, we're talking today with Andy Techmanski. He's the CEO and founder of FORLOH. You can learn about their great products at FORLOH.com. Products is almost an understatement, because I'm a gear junkie like Andy is, and I look at their stuff and I'm like, wow, I get all excited and start sweating and looking at all their gear on their website. So totally off the subject, Andy, how cool was it to see the rush to the outdoors? If nothing else came out of the pandemic, people got back outside. How cool was that?
Hunter participation hitting record levels in the last, I think, 50 years, something like that. I myself took out people that had never been hunting or fishing and got them, in front of their first animals and stuff like that. And it was amazing. I feel like there's been a rejuvenation and appreciation for, not only being able to have the skills to supply the meat for your family, to put something in the refrigerator, especially in a time where there's shortages. It's hard to get that stuff where it was. But, just to get outdoors again, I think there's been a bit of a romance. If there's ever a silver lining in COVID, which I'm not saying there is, but there's been a bit of a rejuvenation of the romance of being outdoors. And we're just glad to be a part of it.
Yeah, that was pretty exciting for all people who are already established and love the outdoors. So we're going to come back on the other side of the break. We're going to talk to Andy about technology and some of the stuff that is going to blow your mind, Ramon, about what they are doing with technical apparel. So, folks, join us on the other side. Hunting Matters on KPRC 950. Good morning. Welcome back to Hunting Matters on KPRC 950. I'm your host, Joe Betar.
I am Ramon Robles.
Good tunes.
Yeah, I like that.
I had a high school buddy. That was just, he always say that. Every song you put on the radio, you're like, good tune. He was kind of the Spicoli of the crowd.
Yeah, okay. Very good. Do we know how old Andy is? Is it okay to ask him? Because he might not have gotten the Spicoli reference. Andy, did you get that?
I got it.
Okay, my man. All right, very good.
Folks, on Hunting Matters today, we're here with Andy Techmanski, the CEO and founder of FORLOH. Learn about all their terrific gear at forloh.com, FORLOH.com. Andy, we could fill up a whole show on this because I'm constantly amazed. We did a webinar, Ramon, with our membership and with a few folks about a month or so ago. Time flies. But they really Andy had his entire team with him there on the call, and they were talking about technology. And even though I've heard it, I've read it, I've seen it, there's no better resource for what they're doing that is groundbreaking in the world of technical apparel. So, Andy, let's talk about some of the proprietary and industry-first technologies that FORLOH has incorporated and is developing with your technical apparel.
So I always tell people that FORLOH is a technology company, and technology is first, and we make the best outdoor apparel around that technology and the usefulness of it. So, we've got everything from NASA space technology. It was built by NASA engineers in Virginia Tech called Trizar, and it's the best heat-reflective heat management system built into our cold weather base layer stuff. Also is an antimicrobial. We don't stop there. We double antimicrobial treat our base layers with Polygene, and then go a step further and treat it with a product called Odor Crunch. And I believe we're the only brand in the world that has a double antimicrobial treatment plus is using Polygene and Odor Crunch together in a 50-50 blend. So it's all about putting the right technology with the right activity. As hunters, as outdoor people, we're active. We hike in. We don't want to be soaking wet. We don't want to smell when we get there. We want to be able to wick, and dry and be comfortable. And it goes back to that mantra of hunting for that adventure. Well, you're only going to keep going on more adventures if you're comfortable every time you go. And so that's what we're all about. We were able to find a waterproof, breathable technology that is called Aerodyne, and the things that we've been able to do with that have been absolutely, game changer, miles ahead of the competition. And this product's made in Missouri, and it's about in the U.S. manufacturing machine, finding technologies that are out there that are cutting edge that may be being applied to other industries. And Aerodyne actually was originally a technology developed for medical transfusion machines. It was a medical filtration membrane, and it was made by folks that have made other outdoor membranes, and then they found that this stuff actually breathes like 300% better than anything that's out there in the world. So let's put that in outdoor apparel, and we were the first brand to launch that. And so again, it's what can we do to add value, and breathability is always a big, being dry and being breathable, being, comfortable. These are all the things that everybody outdoors is always, looking to do.
Well, that's good, and I can appreciate the technology being used, but as a simpleton like I am, if I'm in camp, how many days in a row could I wear your pants before the funk started getting to people?
I stress test every single. In fact, I've got a shirt on right now that is our cooling technology that's launching, which I can promise you is better than anything that you've ever tried on. I've been wearing this hooded UPS sun shirt that is dynamite for about a week and a half. I hang it up every night, and I come back every morning. I do the sniff test, and every morning this thing just rejuvenates itself and smells like it's fresh out of the bag. It's unbelievable. And I'd say, you can go a couple weeks. I've had some very strenuous backcountry hunting trips, early season chasing elk up and down the mountains in Montana, and you'll get a solid week out of a garment before you start saying, maybe it's time to switch it out. And the normal person isn't going to go that far, but we have to, as a manufacturer, we have to test these things to their limits, make sure that they're doing what we say they're doing.
I admire that. And that one you're wearing right now isn't available yet, but will be soon, right?
It is not available yet. It will be soon. We've got a huge spring-summer launch coming, 47 styles, everything geared towards warm weather climate, both hunting, fishing, outdoor.
Yeah. Okay.
The cool thing, Ron, you and I were actually talking earlier today. The cool thing about it, I know Andy and his team think about it, but maybe the everyday average guy doesn't think about it. If you're going on a trip somewhere and they tell you, okay, you're going to be 4 guys on a plane and you can pack 48 pounds, well, guess what the most important thing is? The rifle or the bow and some of those things is. But now, through this technology and the science, and the old days you wore a pair of coveralls and you hope that kept you warm, but it definitely wasn't going to keep you dry.
Mm-hmm.
But now, with this new clothing that FORLOH is coming out with, not only is it lightweight and it's efficient and it can be customized to your setting that you're hunting in, but it's also, I mean, you think about this. You got a product that you can wear for a week.
Yeah.
To coin your phrase, without getting funky.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just think about how much less you have to pack. Yeah. Just hang it up at night. You're good to go for a week or so. I mean, that's what's exciting to me on top of all the technology. So, Andy, let's talk a little bit about, I mean, we looked at your website. You and I have talked about this before. Let's talk about the applications of your product in regards to search and rescue, and where did it come from, and how does it apply to the hunter?
So, search and rescue is obviously something that every, whether you're out in the middle of the ocean on a boat or you're a solo hunter out up the side of a mountain, and I hunt a lot by myself. There's a lot of days that I just break out and midday and I'm up outside of a mountain waiting for sunset, and there's been a few times where slips and falls and you're like, oh, that could have been a lot worse. And so envision a boat motor going and you're out of cell range. Envision being upside of a mountain and you slip and twist your ankle and you're out of cell range. And so we've been looking at this since launch, and we found a technology called Reco. And Reco is not a brand new technology. It's on a newer side, but it was traditionally used in the ski industry for avalanche recovery. And, we said, well, if it's good enough for ski and they can literally fly a helicopter with a transceiver 75 miles an hour in a grid and it can see through 20 feet of snow, what can that do for outdoor, for the backcountry folks and for the folks that are out in the middle of the ocean, so on and so forth, to be found. So every single jacket we make has a Reco reflector. It's just a passive diode that is in the brim of the cap. They're so thin you don't even know they're there. And I'm sorry, in the brim of the hood. We will be putting them in caps sooner or later. Mm-hmm. And they'll be in our backpacks, and we're going to start to put them in more and more garments, and that essentially gives you one layer of ability to be found. Reco's slogan, be searchable.
Yeah.
So if you're out in the backcountry, I would always recommend slap a Reco. FORLOH actually gives you Reco stickers put on the back window of your truck or something. So if search and rescue comes and they're like, oh, they have Reco, let's bring that transceiver out and go look for these folks.
Yeah, you don't think. I mean, in Texas, you're walking out to the deer blind. You don't think about that, but when you're backcountry mountain hunting, things like that, that's a great technology to have. It's great to, like you said, throw that sticker on the decal on the back of your vehicle, and it alerts the search and rescue to say, we got an option here now for recovery. So, Andy, you guys do, of course, obviously, men's clothing, but you're doing women and children specifically as well. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. So. Men's is obviously prevalent on our website, but being a family hunter, and I just finished a big hunt with my 8-year-old that was part of his Christmas present, and I dare say he's a better shot than I, by far. And he amazed everybody at the ranch and what he could do at 8. But it's always been important, and actually it goes back to the foundation of when I started the company. About the year before I was out, he was 5 then. He was out in the woods with me. He hunts with me all over the place. And we got out of the truck and we're walking, get about, a quarter mile into the woods, and he's looking at me and looking at himself, looking at me, looking at himself. And then he's like, whispers to me. He goes, Dad, my camo doesn't match yours. He goes, I'm going to stick out and the deer are going to see us and we're never going to get a shot. And I just kind of stopped and looked at him, because nobody has good complement of youth stuff, and most of them have very little in women's as well. And I was like, if a 5-year-old gets this, how do these guys not get it at all? It was kind of a light bulb moment of like, this is why I need to start this company. And yet we're a little bit slow getting the women's and youth stuff out, and it's growing. That complement's growing. By the time we get midsummer, we're going to have a full-fledged, of everything. And as we get into fall, there's going to be a lot more women and youth options that are being manufactured right now. But it's important. We're an industry that is growing more people. What better to start with youth or start with your wife or girlfriend, get them introduced to it, and grow the industry that way.
Awesome. All right, folks, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back on Hunting Matters on KPRC 950. Welcome back to Hunting Matters on KPRC 950. I'm your host, Joe Vitar.
I am Ramon Robles.
We're talking today with Andy Techmanski. Andy is the CEO and founder of FORLOH. You can learn all about their unique technical apparel and technologies and science and products and just
it was
cool
awesome
stuff
that
at
these
FORLOH.com.
He was saying during the break that these pants are, when you enter the Earth's atmosphere, when you come back into orbit, they're fireproof. You won't burn up in reentry. That's how advanced these pants are. I think he said that. Maybe I'm reading between the lines
Andy,
too much.
did you say that to Ramon? Did you tell him that? Because once you get him going...
As long as you're in the spaceship.
Now, I'm perusing the website here at FORLOH.com, and I'm looking at the shipping and all that, which led me to think, well, do you have any physical brick-and-mortar stores?
Yes, we do. So we've got our flagship store that is in our headquartered town of Whitefish, Montana.
Okay.
And we're getting ready to open another store here in the very near future.
Nice. Okay. Can you spill the beans on that, or is that top secret?
I can. I mean, this is world premiere stuff.
Oh, my goodness.
I haven't told anybody about this. We literally just signed the lease the end of last week, and we will be opening a store in Austin, Texas.
Hey,
on the north side in the Domain. Right around September 1st is the launch date of that, and we'll have a big event out there, and hopefully everybody can come out and see us.
Yeah, that's the little town of Austin. It's good to see that little place growing up.
I'm guessing Rogan's going to show up over there because I know he's got a penchant for spending money on outdoor gear.
That's a good place.
We hope to get his attention and get him in some of our gear at some point.
That'd be sweet. That would be sweet.
Well, congratulations. That's a big deal. And I'm kind of proud that the first one outside of Montana is Texas.
There's a lot of hunter and fishing participation in Texas, and I'll say it. The Texans are proud to be Americans and proud to support a made in American brand.
Well, I'm glad you realize that we are a proud state.
Yeah, that's going to be exciting, man. I can't wait to go to that grand opening, and we'll definitely be telling the membership about that and getting everybody coordinated.
Can I ask some of these ignorant questions?
I know what you're going to ask. I got some ignorant questions too,
right,
so go ahead.
You ready, Andy?
Yes, sir.
What is the biggest animal that you could take down with your bare hands?
With my bare hands.
You had to. It was you and the animal, life or death. You're in the middle of the forest or wherever, and you had to bring this animal down.
I think I would probably consider being a vegetarian at that point.
All right, so we'll say a potato.
Tree bark's starting to look good.
All right, very good. And finally, what is I won't ask that one. What is the one meal you would cook for a VIP who was coming into town?
Well, it's always wild game. I just had wild game for breakfast. I have it almost 3 meals a day. So, it'd be hard to beat like a axis deer chops or a fallow deer chops. That would be, you'd be pretty special to me if that ended up on the menu.
Okay.
But hey, I love elk burgers and stuff like that too. So, if you're getting wild game at my house, you're I'd like to say you're pretty special, but we eat it about 300 days a year. So,
Got it.
You'll feel special, though.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, there's nothing. I don't think you can beat Access. I mean,
Yeah, you and your Access.
I keep
That's
it
all
in the
you talk
freezer all the
about.
time, and
Yeah.
I'm never bringing you any unless you start paying me some money for it. So those Access
I
are.
don't know that FL deer is a close, very close.
Yeah, I agree. Ramon likes possum on the half shell. That's typically what he likes. So Access would blow his mind.
Yep.
Access would blow his mind. Andy, and listen, I know you're kind of a serious guy. I've seen you in action, but you got to tell us, what is one of your favorite hold my beer moments that you've experienced in the outdoors while you've been hunting and fishing? Tell us some inside scoop on that.
One of my favorite deer moments?
No, one of your favorite or most memorable, hold my beer moments while I go do this.
Well, I mean,
It doesn't have to be you. It could be your buddy.
I've had a few, hold my beer, because I'm going to go stalk on that animal moment, probably about once a season. So, I mean, they're all equally my favorite, I guess.
Yeah. You prefer big game or waterfowl, or what's your preference?
I like them all. I tend to do more big game. I'm a big meat hunter, so it's kind of like, here's the amount of days I have in the year. Where am I going to be able to fill the freezer the most? And kind of the way the seasons are in Montana, especially, is you dedicate so much early on to elk, and if you get that elk early in August or September, it opens up waterfowl, pheasants, everything else in between rifle season. So the better hunter I am at early season, the more birds I do mid-season, and it just depends. Some years they're harder to get than others, right?
Speaking of food, I like to go back to food because I like to eat, Andy. Texas has a fast food chain called Whataburger, and of course we're known for our barbecue as a state. What would Montana's fast food restaurant be, and what food would best represent your state?
Well, I mean, Montana doesn't have a lot of fast food now.
Right.
So
that's why I'm fascinated by your answer.
Yeah, I'd still say, if you said, where do you go get fast food to a Montanan, they're gonna give you a name of the local bar they go get a burger at.
Yeah.
And that's probably what kind of makes Montana what it is.
Of course. Today. Yeah, of course. Okay. What about the food that would represent the state? You got one?
The food that would represent the state of Montana.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're still a big cattle state, so
okay.
But here's one for you. Rocky Mountain oysters are a big thing in a lot of bars in Montana. So maybe that becomes something that is a standalone Montana appetizer.
Yes, it would look good on the travel doc.
True story. We took when I was a sales rep in the medical field. We took one of the area VPs, or he was a national VP actually, so I could have lost my job over this. We took him out for drinks and mountain oysters. Man, those things hit the table. He's like, "Man, these are great." I think he had 8, 9, with a few beers, and then he goes, "I don't know what that was, but that was incredible." And we told him what it was. He made a beeline for the bathroom.
No,
he lost it. Yeah,
how do you not know before you eat
cookies?
that?
We were just all snickering and laughing. We couldn't tell him. I like them. I don't mind them.
I know you like them,
but it made me so sick. So kind of on a parting note here, we got a couple minutes left. But I mean, if you had to impart one thing on Ramona and I are getting ready to go shopping, and you had to do the sales pitch to us. Mm-hmm. Andy, why should we go and just pick FORLOH above and beyond everything else? Obviously, we know the answer, but for the uninformed, what would you say is kind of your elevator pitch if you're in the store?
All right. So FORLOH, the most important thing, besides Made in America, besides the technology, is the no concessions approach. And we take zero concessions when we build something. We use the best stitching methodology. We use the best reinforcement. We use the best materials and fabrics. I mean, there's zero concessions in anything we do. So, are we in a price point for everyone? I mean, I hope we are, but realistically, it's expensive to build our stuff because it's so good. But I would tell folks, the argument on the other side, the flip side of that coin, is that you're getting something that's going to last you much longer than something else. So, if you're willing to give us a shot and willing to give a, American-made manufacturer a shot, I can promise you won't be disappointed. And we stand by our products and hope to earn your business.
Awesome, man. Andy Techmanski, thank you so much for being with us today on Hunting Matters, folks. They're coming to Austin.
Yeah.
Coming to Austin in September. But if you can't wait to then, which you should not, go to FORLOH.com. That's FORLOH.com. We will see you guys next week on Hunting Matters on KPRC 950.